Alright, and here's the video review for Combiner Wars Wave 3 Voyager Cyclonus. Now, this is a very heavy retool of Silverbolt. He transforms much the same way, he forms a torso, all that good stuff. He does not come with a comic, he comes again with a little art card and his instruction manual, which is nice. Now, this art I do know is based off Transformers Legends. I remember playing when he was one of the characters. I think I actually have him in my team if I ever logged back in. And I remember he came with that shield. That was one of the items you could get in the game. So yeah, it's based off his Transformers Legends artwork. But that's it. You get the figure, the gun, and this. You don't get a comic with the Voyagers. Like I said, he has a Silverbolt repaint. He comes with the same gun. At least, you know, Cyclonus did kind of have a little shield piece, so that's at least a little bit more fitting for Cyclonus to split the gun into the little shield and the weapon. And you can pull that off. And now if you don't use the gun, he does have a flip-down landing gear to hold him upright in vehicle mode if you don't have the gun plugged into the front. And it's not a bad representation of Cyclonus. I really like, from like that there forward, I think he looks really great. He is a little boxy back here in the back, again, owing to the fact that he's just a repaint of or / remold of Silverbolt. And as such has a semi-basic transformation. You know, he does kind of suffer from that box under vehicle mode. It's not a horrible mode for Cyclonus. It's not, I don't think his vehicle mode is as great as the deluxe we got a couple years ago in the Generations line. And even his robot mode, like I said, I think if you just want Cyclonus, hunt down the Generations one. But he does turn into a torso for Combiner Wars, which is a neat little feature. You put these however you want to angle them. Now, he does parts form a little bit. You can leave these in his hands as weapons, but the little wings do come off. I just pull them out of his hands here. You can go ahead and pull the hands out as well. Fold these wings down, fold the wings up, flip the whole nose cone back, and plug it on here onto the back. And then he does have some remolded divots here for these to close around onto that nose cone. The legs come out. They untab, they're tabbed in back here. So you tab them in, bring them down, flatten those panels, rotate them forward, flip out his feet here. Actually, you want to flip out his feet before you flip down those tabs. There's a couple little hinges down here that let you, or angled bits to get those out. And flip out his heels. Flip out his heel, fold those back in. Bring his arms down and around, and then flip his head up and rotate it around. You don't have to rotate it for vehicle mode, but otherwise you see his face peeking out the front of his underside of his nose, so it helps hide him a little bit. There we go. Flip his head up. Well. And then these wings, like I said, you can have him hold them in his hands like blade weapons, but they're intended to plug into his arms to give him his little arm wings. Now, I folded these back. That's how Silverbolt does it. I feel like with Cyclonus, you can kind of angle him out a little bit, and I think that makes him look a little bit more distinct and more like Cyclonus with the wings flipped out a little bit. I don't like him straight out to the sides. I think that makes him look a little wide and a little awkward, but if you just kind of angle him one click back, I think he looks pretty cool as a robot. He's got his traditional Cyclonus head, which is a little disappointing. I would have liked to have seen, considering how much references we've been getting lately to the comics with some of the figures that have been coming out. I would have liked to have seen his more than meets the eye head with the horns that kind of come up in the front. But it does have a classic Cyclonus look to his head. And as a robot, I dig him as a robot. Like I said, his alt mode I feel is a little off. But he's not a bad traditional Cyclonus. Although, again, the question is, do I need another Cyclonus? Since we just got a very nice one back in the Generations line with the Target Master just a couple years ago. And again, you can have him hold the full rifle. You can have him hold the shield. You could actually pull this off and stick the shield into his arm if you chose. But there he is, all weaponed up. Now, his bio talks about how he can apparently mind control any Autobot or Decepticon into combining with him. Oh, there's like actually a metal rod through there to support the gun. That's kind of cool. Which, again, like he turns into Galvatronus. We'll show you that in a minute. Go ahead and pull these off because I think we're going to need to. And like I said, his bio talks about how he can mind control any Autobot or Decepticon to combine with him, and he siphons their power while doing so. maybe I feel like he's going to be a toy-only character. I don't know. Who knows with the Combiner Wars? The way they've got it set up, it could turn into a massive, everybody gets Combiner powers the way they're doing it. So we'll see. I just feel like forcing people to combine with him and siphoning their power really doesn't jive with the way that Cyclonus is currently being written in the comics. So, one, he's got a Decepticon logo, which is already different from the comics, where he was part of an old, ancient exploratory team that went off with Nova Prime, and he doesn't actually declare allegiance to Autobot or Decepticon because he was missing for the entire Great War. But again, like I said, the bio doesn't jive with how he's written in the comic. I guess we'll see how they play it out in the storyline, if he even shows up in this combined mode in the comics. So yeah, torso mode. So we'll go ahead and flip his head back in. Then right down here, you pull this out, and there's his combiner mode head, which you can see does look very Galvatron-esque. Galvatron-esque, whatever. And he transforms again, just like Silverbolt. You're gonna have the legs down here. Ah, come on, you. Flip his arms in. Bring the legs down and around. Fold these out. Flip up the feet. Oh, come here. And then they plug in. Bring the panel up like this. The legs fold in, and they should peg back in here just like they did for vehicle mode. So peg those together. This pegs into the back here. You can see there's a slot here in the back that the head pegs into. Or actually rotate his head around so you've got the room, and then this piece pegs in right back here. This should fold. Come on, plug in. This tab on this side, even earlier, was giving me a lot of trouble. So tab that in, and then these panels fold in to form his chest. This panel flips up here as well. And those tab together. And there's his torso mode. And you can see here that, and again, if you want to, you can leave these plugged into the sides of his legs. Give him little leg wings. Very Galvatron-esque in his combined mode. He's got Galvatron's head. He's got the stomach buttons, for lack of a better term. So he does look very Galvatronish. Galvatronus. However you say it. We flip those down. And there's his torso mode. Now, because he can combine with Autobots or Decepticons, I just pulled a couple of limbs off my combiners that I've got here for display. So we're going to do off-road here. Breakdown. I think his official art has like drag strip and a couple of aerial bots connected to him. So we'll plug those in. And then we've got a couple of Air Raid and Firefly up here. And he can hold the gun. He can hold any of the weapons that he previously had. Plug in there. And there he is as a combiner torso. Like I said, neat idea. I like the idea of having a Galvatron-esque torso there. As a combiner, not being Galvatron, it seems a little weird, especially since, again, currently in the comics, Cyclonus doesn't really have a huge attachment to Galvatron. I mean, I guess he did for a while. Like I said, if it shows up in the comics, I guess we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. Really, the only fiction right now, or any sort of description of who he is as a combiner, is the bio on the back of his box, which just says, hey, Cyclonus sucks Autobots and Decepticons in, makes them merge with him, and siphons their power. So that's his bio. If we get any more information, obviously, we can talk about it then. But as of right now, that's really all the knowledge. He is apparently the rival for the fan-made combiner, and supposedly we're going to find out more about that at San Diego Comic-Con, because I know all the voting's been done, and they did announce that Galvatronus was going to be the rival for the fan-made combiner, whatever it ends up being named, and whoever becomes a part of it. So I guess there's that. Probably going to be another mishmash like this. Like I said, Cyclonus, I like Silverbolt. he's based on the same mold. There's a lot of neat transformation gimmicks. I do like the sculpt of the torso. I don't know, again, much like Warpath, I don't know if he's one to hunt down. The big draw of Wave 3 is the Protectobots. I feel I'm a big Defensor fan, and I'll talk about that when I get to that. But he's decent. If you don't already have a Cyclonus, and you don't want to pay, I don't know what the price is going for is on the Generations guy right now. But you don't want to hunt one down, you can't find one. There will be a Cyclonus available, and it's not a horrible Cyclonus. I just feel like if you already have the Generations version, unless you're just completely enamored with having him as a combiner torso, there's not a whole lot of reason to hunt this one down. Like I said, it's good, it's solid. If you enjoy Silverbolt, it's a lot of the same. He's a decently engineered, solid figure. I like. He works well as a torso. Like I said, I don't think it's one to knock kids away from the shelves to try and get the last one there. He's not worth going crazy hunting over. If you see him on the shelf and you want him, by all means grab him. But I don't know if he's necessarily a must buy from this wave.